now we're going to do the second half of our the good, the bad, the weird, and the rad. But now it's the AFC's turn. And once again, we're going to start with the good. And the good are the Steelers. Mm-hmm. They are officially first in the AFC North. And I love this because they were my team to watch, like preseason team to watch, because of the quarterback situation they had going on, and no one really knew what to expect from either of these guys. But Justin Fields got this start the first 6 games, went 4-2. He did enough to keep them really in the race and to be able to be first in a division where I think most people thought it was going to be the Ravens or the Bengals. And then Russell Wilson having a little comeback. He's won the 3 games he's played in. People wrote off Russ in Denver, said he was washed. Full transparency, I was one of those people that didn't fully believe in him once he came to the Steelers. But I love a comeback story, so prove me wrong. Like, please prove me wrong. But the other big story is their defense. They have been top notch. 2nd in points allowed per game, 8th in yards allowed per game, and TJ Watt currently the favorite to win defensive player of the year. So like I had them as like a team to keep an eye on, but Trace, did you expect them to have this kind of a season?
My only concern with them was the idea that if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks.
You and Carmen say the same thing. I'm like, nah, man, this is competition. It's going to motivate you to be better and want to take that spot.
And I think it did. And I think Russell Wilson, to his credit, has found somewhat of a different way to play quarterback.
Yeah.
He's not the Russell Wilson of 10 years ago.
No.
And he's finding a different way. And I think Mike Tomlin is a heck of a coach. So did I think the Steelers would be good? Yes. Did I think it would be like this? I did not, just because of quarterback. But good for them. They're fun. And I don't know, to me, Steelers, when you think of like the NFL, I think of the Steelers.
Oh, yeah. No.
You know, they're like... And that would be cool. And that AFC North that's a tough division. No matter how the Bengals are playing right now, it is a tough division. So
even the Browns were great at one point. I mean, I thought the Steelers were going to be bottom. I think a lot of people thought they were going to be bottom of the division. It was going to be a tough battle to.
I didn't think they'd be
to
bottom.
make the postseason. I mean, between Lamar and Burrow, and I mean, Browns is a whole other situation. But the Steelers, again, you can't count out Mike Tomlin. It's
never can.
A future Hall of Fame coach, an elite organization that just knows how to play good football. And he doesn't have losing seasons.
No, he does not.
He does not. So that is the good. But their matchup this weekend leads us to the weird. And that's the Ravens' Lamar Jackson, who is 1-3 against the Steelers. And that's kind of weird considering Lamar is 17-5 against the other AFC North teams.
Very weird.
Bengals, and Browns. Pittsburgh is the only team that he's thrown more interceptions than touchdown passes. So he has 7 interceptions and 4 touchdown passes. And I guess you got to hand it to Mike Tomlin and his defense. He's a defensive coach. And Lamar even said he doesn't understand why he has these numbers. Like last year, they were supposed to beat them, but things didn't work out the way. The football gods weren't on their side, but it's a new year, a new game. He's looking forward to it. And even Coach Jim Harbaugh said we don't live in the past. You're living in the past, man. None of it matters. It's the next game. It's just, it's weird that Lamar cannot get over the Steelers hump. But the good news for the Ravens is after starting 0-2, they've won 7 of their last 8 games. Lamar's having another MVP caliber season. He's currently the MVP fave. So it's funny. This one's a toss-up for me.
Well, in games like this, it becomes less about the overall this team's better than that team or this quarterback's better. And it's matchups.
Yeah.
And certain coaches know how to scheme against a particular quarterback. The Niners and the Vikings have this. They have so much trouble with the Vikings, and I think Lamar would like to probably get over this hump. But sometimes certain teams have your number, and not because of a mental thing, but just they know how to play you.
Yeah.
And they know how to play you in a way that others don't. They have the personnel that can play you in that way. And so, I don't know, this will be a fun one. It's Lamar, we could say Lamar's due. I don't know.
He is due?
I could be wrong. My kind of gut feeling is the Ravens are going to win it.
So I reached out to Cynthia Freeland, our dear friend, who's the analytics expert and does like data science for NFL Network. And I was like, so tell me, like, what are the numbers telling you? She's like, it's a 50-50. It's a 50-50 toss-up. I'm like, great. Okay, that didn't help me at all, but cool. So
I'm going Lamar.
We're going to have our full game picks at the end of the show, but that one was like, I could really go either way. All right, let's move to the Rad. And that's the Chiefs, you guys. Back-to-back. The back-to-back Super Bowl champs are currently undefeated. 9 wins in a row.
Might be their year. Might be their year finally.
Yeah, they've won 15 straight dating back to last season. They haven't lost since Christmas Day. We were just talking about that. Was that the Raiders?
Yeah.
Loss? That was just such a weird loss. But it further proves that no matter what players they have on their team, if Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are paired up, the dynasty will continue. Like, it is a full dynasty right now. And Andy Reid compared what the Chiefs are doing to a kid in school studying for a test. And if you study as much as you can, and then you go and take the test and the mindset works, it's all going to work out. I think we have some sound of Andy Reid talking about this.
You bust your butt and you maximize all you can do with the time that you have to get better and to know the information that's in front of you. And so then you don't have to worry about all that other stuff. You maximize it out, then you get to a point where you go, all right, this is as much as I can do. I'm going to just go out and do it. And so it relieves some of that, oh, we're 9-0, we're, whatever. I mean, it's just 3 Super Bowl, all that crap. You got to do the work to get the result. And then sometimes that doesn't happen. But, so why worry about all that? That's stuff you can't control. The thing you control is what I'm talking about here. It's kind of a neat thing to watch, and that's what the guys have been doing. And we'll see. We'll just see how it goes. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, and nobody does really. And so, you go play.
I mean, that's the leader you want to be behind.
100%. And he's lucky, no pun intended, he's got the chief maximizer playing quarterback for him. If there's ever somebody who can maximize whatever, as much or as little as he has, it's Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. And so they are incredible. And no matter how you feel about them, they're doing something really special. And you kind of have to respect it. You have to respect Mahomes. I do not believe that the refs are in on it. I don't.
No, absolutely not.
They're just a very, very good football team, and he knows how to get it done. And what Andy Reid just said just sums it all up. So they are rad, and so we'll see if they're going to go 10-0 against the Bills, as we talked to Maddie earlier.
Yeah, the game of the week Sunday against the Bills. Now, Josh Allen knows how to beat the Chiefs, but for some reason, Mahomes lives free in his head during the postseason.
Yes.
Because Allen is 3-1 against Mahomes in the regular season, but 0-3 against Mahomes in the playoffs. So, and it's interesting because when we talked to Bills reporter Maddie Glab last hour, we were asking her about this, and it's like, well, it is this because we heard Josh Allen say like, oh, it's just a Week 11 game. It's like, no, it's not, buddy. Like,
it's not.
It's also the first game, like home game, where they get to play the Chiefs at home. The other one was during COVID, so there were no fans there. So it's the first time they really get to experience that entire atmosphere. And there has to be like they're missing their tight end. Amari Cooper is questionable. She said he might be in. So it's going to have to be Josh Allen once again putting the team on his back to try to take down the dynasty.
And I think what doesn't get talked about enough with the Chiefs is their defense, because it gets all about Mahomes, but they also have an incredible defense. So it's not going to be easy for Josh Allen to put him on his back, but that is what he's going to have to do. I have a hot take about undefeated seasons.
Okay, let's go.
I do not think it is good for a team to have an undefeated regular season.
Oh, no, I agree. I think
maybe
you need
it's not
to.
a hot take. Maybe it's lukewarm.
No. I agree because like you got to have a little like. You got to face a little adversity, something during the regular season to be like, okay, that wasn't that bad. Let's keep going. But if there was ever a team where I don't think it would affect, it's the Chiefs.
Probably.
It's the Chiefs.
I also think of just law of averages is that eventually you're going to have to lose. But
or not.
If with the Chiefs, you might be right. They're different, as they're built different.
They are.
They are literally and figuratively, they are built different.
Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid is like, it's It's the new Tom Brady, Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
They are the dynasty of now, and you can never count them out. I mean, last year was Patrick Mahomes' worst statistical year. That was a year for everybody, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, to take him down, and they couldn't. And he somehow figured it out, and they're back-to-back Super Bowl champs, and they're looking pretty good
They
for
are.
a three-peat at
Sure
the moment.
are.
But let's finish with the bad. If you're just tuning in, we're doing a segment called The Good, the Bad, the Weird, the Rad. And the bad in the AFC are the Jets, you guys. I'm sorry, but are we surprised? I've been saying this since the preseason. I did not think it was going to work without any proof of concept.
Yes,
Okay,
agree.
40-year-old quarterback coming off a major injury in a new organization, which we know that organization's dysfunctional. And Rodgers is a very picky guy. He has to have a relationship and a deep trust with his receivers if he's even going to throw to you. As we've seen, he's called out so many coaches, teammates, if they made a wrong play. Like, it is just, it's brutal. Good news for a Jets fan, that's being sarcastic. Rodgers still wants to play next season, so you're going to have to go through it all again next year because he ain't getting any younger. And we heard Boomer, former Jets quarterback, was talking about how he's not. Rodgers isn't the same player. Obviously, we all have eyes. You can see it. And he said, I hate to say it, it's like Aaron Rodgers has completely sucked the air out of the building. And I think so many guys are deferring to who he is in their minds. And in my mind, he's a first ballot Hall of Fame player, one of the greatest quarterbacks. And when he was in his prime, he was one of the best we had ever seen. But the fact you hear someone say he just sucks the air out of the room, like if that doesn't describe what it's probably like in New York right now, it's tough. It's not a good situation. I don't think they should have fired his coach. I don't think it was Saleh's fault. He was their best situation. He was their best fit case scenario in everything that was happening in that moment.
They should not have fired him. And the other problem with Rodgers is it's been all about basically giving him whatever he wants when he wants it. And so he's now kind of like the GM and the coach and the quarterback, and he's not doing any of it well.
No.
And it is a hot mess. And like you said, the organization is dysfunctional anyways. But firing Robert Saleh, I think, was a very big mistake, clearly.
Yeah, reactional decision.
And just, it's a mess. And Rodgers is, the thing we didn't see, I think, in the earlier parts of his career was how much he's all about Aaron Rodgers.
I think we always kind of knew that, but it
feels like it's gone to a new level.
Extreme. I mean, he was on Pat McAfee, and on his, where your name plate is, it said, Super Bowl champ, MVP, and ayahuasca enthusiast. So he's just leaning in so hard to that side of everything. And you know what? Zero judgment there. If that's what gets you in the right mindset, you feel good about yourself. It is one of the ancient rituals of the world. But honestly, it's just tough to see greats go out like this. It's the beginning of the end, obviously. But is it even fun for him anymore? Because you're not winning games.
Yeah,
you're not having.
It doesn't feel like, how could you be having fun? And there's dysfunction everywhere.
Everywhere.
So unless he's reveling in that, which some people do, but I can't imagine this is fun for him anymore.
Yeah.
It's just it's kind of just sad to watch a little bit.
So it is.
It's sad to watch
It's hard.